This is Shakil Ahmed. In this tutorial, we will discuss about chi-square test in Excel. Chi-square test is basically used to assess the association between two qualitative variables, whether there is an association between two variables or not. For example, if we see we have data on gender and programming, whether the student knows the programming or not, and the gender of the student. So we have yes no data, and the other qualitative variable is male female gender of the student. So we need to check whether there is a significant association between the two or not. So the null hypothesis is that there is no association between the two groups, and the we need to basically reject the null hypothesis that there is some association between the two qualitative variables. So we need to construct a contingency table that is 2 by 2. In this case, we have two classes for programming and the two classes for gender. So basically, most of the health related studies we have disease status here and the exposure in this column. So we usually take exposure on x-axis and disease status on y column wise. So now we need to just count the frequencies. So we can just use if count ifs command we need to use count if. Basically we have two types of criteria. One, the student is male, and the other, the student knows the programming. So we need to select the criteria range first. Criteria range starts from A2, and how many values we have? A38, A38, and but while counting, uh, we need to set the criteria. Criteria is male. The student is male, and we need to give the criteria range 2 that start from B2 and B38, and the criteria is yes. So we have 12 individuals in this group, and you can just copy this and then come to this one, and this is male with no, and just enter, and here we need to change this as female, and yes, and this is female with no. So the sum should be the total sample size, that is 37, and we can find the sum of the two columns, uh, column wise sum, row wise sum. First we find, so we need to enter sum, and then 20 and 6 plus 11, that is 17, and 6 plus 12, 18, and 8 plus 9, 8 plus 11, 19. So the total is 37. So you can just make a table for your understanding. So these are the observed frequencies. We need observed frequencies as the chi-square test statistic uses the observed frequencies and the expected frequencies. Expected frequencies are obtained by multiplying the marginal totals. For example, for this cell, we can get the expected frequency by this, and for this cell, we can find the expected frequencies, these two expected frequencies. So let's start. First, we write the observed frequencies in this order: A, B, C, D, as I have already mentioned here. A, A is 12, B is 8, C is 6, and D is 11. So what are the expected frequencies? We can just write here. For this, we need the column total, that is 18, and the row total, that is 20, divided by 37. And similarly, you can find for A corresponding to the 8. For B, the expected frequency is 19 multiplied by 20 divided by 37. And for 6, the row total is 19, and the column total is 18, and the row total is 17, and the total is 37. And corresponding to 11, the row total is 19, the column total is 19, the row total is 17, and the total is 37. We can either just select the value or just you can enter manually. So these are the expected frequencies. Now we will run this formula. This formula starts with observed frequency minus expected frequency and then square. Uh, First you need to take square and then divide by exposure. Expected frequency, sorry. That is the expected frequency. So you need to ensure that you are using the bracket throughout these. Basically, the square should be attached to the numerator only. And you can see, and you can just drag this, and you will get the this sum of these frequencies. Basically, we are applying this sum. This is number of cells. That is here we have 4 cells. And what is the degree of freedom? Degree of freedom is uh, number of rows minus 1 into number of column minus 1. You can write the degree of freedom here. 2 minus 1 into 2 minus 1, that is 1. So we can find the p-value. This is the chi-square. We can compare this value with tabulated value of chi-square. And you can also find the p-value, that is the area right to the chi-square distribution, right side of the chi-square distribution. So we need to uh, find 1 minus chi-square distribution, and the value is chi-square, value of the chi-square, degree of freedom is 1, and cumulative is true. It means we are finding the cumulative frequency probability. So this is 0.13409. So it concludes that there is no significant association between the gender of the student and the programming skill. So that's all about the chi-square test. Thank you.